We're up to chapter 37, verse 12, as we start the second Aliyah. Vayelchu echav leros et ton avihem b'Shlem. And the brothers went to pasture the sheep of their fathers in Shlem. And Rashi points out what I remember from writing this now 9 times, that there are 2 dots above the word et in the beginning in this verse. Rashi says nakud al et. Actually, there's 2 dots. So there's nikudot. Rashi has just 1 dot. But they translated here in this translation of Rashi as nikud at dots, but it's really Rashi says nikud shelo halchu el lerot et atzman. They didn't go to pasture the sheep, but they went to indulge themselves. What does that mean? Meaning to say, to pasture themselves, that they were indulging in eating and drinking, and that's what led to their sin. They were indulging in eating and drinking, and that's what led to their sin. Hello there. Good afternoon, my friend. Good afternoon. So, so then we go on. Vayomer Yisrael, we're at chapter 37, verse 13. Vayomer Yisrael, and so then Israel said, Halo achacha ro'im b'Shlem, v'cha v'ashalchacha aleihem, vayomer lo hineni. So Israel said to Joseph, behold, your brother is pasturing in Shem. I will go to you, and I will send you to them. Vayomer lo hineni. And Joseph says, here I am. Rashi says this is an expression, hineni is an expression of humility and enthusiasm. Lashon anava uzrizut, humility and enthusiasm. Nizdarez lemitzvat aviv, he was enthusiastic to do the bidding of his father. Even though he knew that his brothers hated him, he rushed forward to do this task. He knew it was going to be difficult and challenging, but he got the call from his father, and he rushed forward to do it. His father really should not have sent him. You know how to send your son into a position you know they won't succeed. His father should not have sent him. But nevertheless, he sent him. Hello, Dan. Hello. So we're in chapter 37, verse 14. Yes.
I suggest that maybe, the minute he heard his son's response, it reminded him of the same response that he gave his mother, which was, questionable, but he also said hineni so many years before that, right? So
yeah. So, well, I mean, he didn't.
So maybe he saw it as a sign that it will work out, and it wasn't, as dangerous as he thought it might be.
Okay.
Just suggesting because he also had questions about Yosef's dreams, but his response was different from the sons. The sons hated Yosef. There's no way in the world that Yaakov hated Yosef, right? So once he saw that this willingness, this hineni, he realized that there's something else going on here, and it's beyond his control.
Maybe, but there's no recognition that he realized that. Right. There's no recognition on Yaakov's part that he realized that at all, that he had any insight. Parents are often the last to realize what's going on with their own children, even though the rest of the world sees it clearly. Vayomer lo, verse 14. Vayomer lo, lech no re'eh shalom achacha, ve'shalom atzon. Go and see the peace of your brothers, the welfare of your brothers, and the welfare of their sheep. Va'ashiveni davar. Bring me back the matter. Vayashichel me'emek Havron. And he sent him out from the valley of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. So Rashi says, but why does it say from the valley of Hebron? But isn't Hebron on a mountain? It says about the spies that they went up in the south and they came to Hebron. meaning they went up. So Hebron is above, not in the valley. So it means Amuka, Me'ema Hebron means Me'etza Amuka, from the deep counsel of that righteous man. From the deep counsel of that righteous man. Hey, Simon, how you doing? Good. So it means he went from the deep counsel of that righteous man. Hold on. So basically, Hakavor b'Chevron, who's buried in Hebron, who is that from Abraham? Meaning to say, who went up from the deep counsel? Who went up from the deep counsel? Which one of these characters? So that what Rashi is saying is that Joseph's departure from Hebron originated from the deep designs concerning Avram, who was told by God that his descendants would sojourn in a land not their own. So this begins the exile. Oh, we like the haircut, Simon. Thank you. You're looking sharp. So we're in chapter 37, verse 14, verse 15. Vayevosh Shem, when it came to Shem, Rashi says Shem is a place that was reserved for punishments. There the tribes acted sinfully, meaning they sold Joseph. Sham inu es Dina, there Dina was violated. Sham nechlaka malchus based of, and we're going to get to, so the first two he had, there the kingdom of David was divided, as it says, Vayelech Rechavam Shchema. So this refers to when Rechavam, the son of Solomon, split the kingdom. So,
and also Avimelech, the son of Gidon.
yeah. This was, so it's telling us that even though Joseph should realize for sure that this was a difficult place to go, it was a dangerous place, the place where Shimon and Levi, just speaking literally, they had recognized that this is our place. This is our, and to this day, Shem is a bad place. It's a bad place to this day. You don't want to be stuck in, my friend was killed in Shem, my friend's father, I remember many years ago, when they were desecrating the tomb of Joseph in Nablus, and he went there to try and, a rabbi who was ordained by YU went there to try to protect it, and they killed him.
Rav Hillel?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My brother was a good friend of his.
Yeah, well, his daughter was in my congregation in Riverdale. Okay, so now, Kobe, how you doing? So we're in chapter 37, verse 15. What page is it, Simon?
202.
202, Kobe.
203.
203. So, Vayimtzeyu Ish, and the man discovered him. V'hinei Toab Sadeh, he's wandering in the field. Vayisha'elu Ish Lemor Mativakesh, and the man asked him, what are you seeking? Rashi says, this is Gabriel. This is the angel Gabriel. Gabriel is the one who helps people. That's why, because Gabriel is the one who asks, who says, what are you seeking? Gabriel is the angel who helps people. Vayomer etzachai anochi mivakesh, and he says, I'm seeking my brothers. Hagidene li eifo himuim. Tell me now, please, where are they shepherding? So I'll tell you a story about this. Achai anochi mivakesh. Achai, my brothers I seek. Rabbi Weiss, when I wrote my first Torah, seems like a very long time ago.
How many Torahs now?
Now I'm on the 9th. But yeah, but I wrote the first one.
Wow.
I finished in 2020, so probably started in 2019. So first Torah in 2019, so it's 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. So when I wrote the first Torah, Rabbi Weiss told me that he wanted to write this pasuk because Achai, it was his name, Avram Chaim Yosef Weiss, and his father gave him this name because he says this is your job. My brothers, I'm seeking. Esachai anochi mevakesh. That, hello, Yoav, how are you doing? Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Why so far away? You could sit right down here, right next to me. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, wait, every day, everybody's getting haircuts
I
today.
cut my own hair actually. This is the first time I ever cut my
Yeah,
hair.
it
It looks
looks-
nice, right?
Definitely never paid for a haircut.
It looks good.
I haven't paid for a haircut in over 20 years.
Paid for haircuts though.
No, I don't pay for
I cut your hair.
haircuts.
So look at this. Look at my work.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not bad.
wasting your money. You're wasting, you can do it yourself.
I'm supporting a local business.
Oh, fine. You want to give charity? I support that.
Tzedakah.
Yeah, I always support that. That's
Can you
fine.
count a haircut to local businesses tzedakah?
No, does not count as my sir. Sorry.
Okay.
So, okay,
Still a
so
good deed.
I mean, it's better. I would say if your intention is to go out and support this person because you want to help them, then it's definitely a good deed. Definitely a good
You
deed.
could be a good person and not necessarily get mitzvahs, right? Like he could be just doing, it's just a nice thing to do, you know? Doesn't have to be for a mitzvah, like
Yeah,
less.
that's a very good question. No, if you're doing a good deed and your intent is good and you're helping somebody, that's the highest form of charity, is to give somebody a business, to give somebody a job. But you also have a limited number of you have a limited amount of money in the world, a limited amount of resources. So if that's your whole intent, then it's a great thing that you did. I would say I say take it back. I take it back, Simon. I say you have defeated me. You have defeated me with your argument. That's a beautiful thing. Beautiful. I'll tell everybody else a story. So that this is what a story I told some people this morning. I'm gonna basically I'm gonna stop the recording so I can tell the story for real. Hold on. Okay, so those of you who are just watching on YouTube, if you want the story, then just send me a text message. Or you gotta come in person. Come in person or hit me up with a text and maybe I'll tell it to you. I have to see who you are. Okay, so now we're up to chapter 37, verse 17.
Page 203.
203. Right? Vayomer Aish, nasu mizeh. So the man said, let us travel from here. Because ki shamati omrim nelcha dotaina. Because I heard us saying, let us go to Dotaina. So I heard us say, let us go to Dotaina. Vayelach Yosef achar achav vayimtzaim b'Dotan. And Joseph traveled after his brothers and he found them in Dotan. So
I just wanted to add that this is the only time in the Torah that I know about that is past, present, and future, 3 words consecutively. Shamati omrim nelcha.
What do you mean? What are you trying to say? Say it more.
Shamati is past tense, omrim is present tense, and nelcha is future tense.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. I didn't realize that. So they said, they moved themselves from brotherhood. They traveled out. They moved themselves from brotherhood. So that's what they did. Hold on. Okay, let us go to Dotan. Why are they going to Dotan? To seek against you conspiracies of laws. Yimisucha bahem. They will put you to death. Ufi pshuto. A simple meaning, it was just the name of a place. And now Rashi says, this is one of the lines that's very famous from Rashi. He says, Ein mikra yotzei midei pshuto. You can't take the verse away from its literal meaning. So first Rashi offers an explanation on this word. The name Dotaina means a place where you go with legal pretexts. And then secondly, he says it's to tell us, he says it's actually just the name of a place, and you can't take away the verse from its literal meaning. So this is a little like, what's the proper word? It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek because all Rashi does all the time is give midrashim. And all of a sudden here he's saying, no, you have to take the literal explanation. A lot of people, are critical of Rashi because they say, oh, he's just a midrash. He cites all the midrashim. But here he says, and in fact, Rashbam says Rashbam, Rashi's grandson, says that my grandfather said if he had time, he would go give another commentary that was just based upon the literal reading of the text. So that's what I'm going to do. So Rashi is even criticized by his own grandson for not being literal. Okay. Now we go to verse 18. Vayiru oso merachok, and they saw him from far away. Uvitarim yikrav eleim, and before he came next to them, vayinaku oso ahamito, and they came close to him. They conspired to kill him. Rashi says they filled themselves with conspiracies, va'armumius, and cunning. Verse 19. Vayom hello, Reb David, shkoyach to you. This is a very momentous day because our dear friend Reb David has been saying Kaddish for his mother for 11 months. So it's a very holy time. So this is the last day of his reciting Kaddish. We don't recite Kaddish for more than 11 months. Let me just tell everybody some of the laws of Kaddish so people know. For technically speaking, really Kaddish is really only recited by a child for their mother or their father. That's really what the mourner's Kaddish is. That's really the mourner's Kaddish. That's what it was historically. And what happened was there are two things. People realized it was such a powerful prayer, so they wanted to say it also for other relatives. But the whole origin of the Kaddish was a man came in a dream, and a man died, and he came back in a dream to a rabbi, and it appears in Ashkenaz in the 11th century. The mourner's Kaddish is not mentioned in the Talmud. It appears in the medieval period, and he appears to a rabbi, and he said, "My face is all black because I don't even, I'm in hell, and if you want to get me out of hell, go teach my son how to read Hebrew so that he could recite the prayer for me of making God's name great." So that was the idea, that a son will recite the Kaddish for his father or his mother, and that's like fulfilling that. And then it morphed into this idea that you say it if you're in mourning for anybody, or you have like the ability to say it for other reasons. But the technical, legalistic approach is just for a mother or father. Now separate from that are laws of mourning. Laws of mourning for anybody other than a parent. How long do you mourn for?
A week.
No, so okay. So there's Shiva. You always sit Shiva if it's one of the 7 relatives. Now, if it's Rahman al brother, sister, wife, or child, then your mourning period is 30 days. But for a parent, the mourning period is 12 months. Now, the Kaddish for a parent is, we say that even though they're mourning for 12 months, we only recite the Kaddish for 11 months. Why? We don't want to say that the parent needs the full Kaddish. We want to say that they're limited, that nobody needs the full Kaddish. But it's also more than that. It's psychologically, the rabbis know how hard it is to stop saying Kaddish, so they have to stop you early. Because they know that when many people say Kaddish, it's and this is why it's so important for us to pay attention when people are saying Kaddish, to give our undivided attention and never to speak when somebody's saying Kaddish, because the Kaddish is really an opportunity for the person saying the Kaddish to think about their loved one with dedicated time and space, which is a very powerful moment. And also it's an opportunity to bring holiness into the world in their name. So therefore, people have a very hard time stopping saying Kaddish. But the rabbis know that you have to stop saying Kaddish because you can't just be a mourner your whole life. It's not the way we're supposed to be living. Oh, Pasha. It's not the way we're supposed to be living. We're not supposed to be living as mourners. So therefore, the rabbis say there's a period where you have to stop. That's why the Kaddish period is 11 months. There are some sources where people say Kaddish for 12 months, even some sources for 13 months. But the accepted custom by everybody that you stop after 11 months. And then you say the Kaddish also on the yard site. Now this year for David is another halacha. David's mother passed away in a leap year. So therefore, His Kaddish period is 11 months. That's today. The mourning period is 12 months. That's in a month from now. And then the Yortzeit is in 2 months. So it's 11, 12, and 13 months. One more thing about this. Even though you stop saying Kaddish at 11 months, that's the mourner's Kaddish. Many people, not everyone, but many people have the custom that from the 11th month to the 12th month, they still say the Kaddish to Rabbanon. Kaddish to Rabbanon is not a mourner's Kaddish. Anybody could say it. It's just a Kaddish that you say when you finish Torah study. So many people say there's no issue whatsoever with saying that Kaddish. But that's like inside baseball. Like if you really want to, the simplest thing is people had 11 months to stop. Anybody have any questions about this? Okay, so you know what? Speaking of which, we can do another pasuk. So this is one of my favorite practice psukim in the whole Torah. Each one said to his brother, "Behold, behold, this master of the streams is coming. The dreamer is coming." They meant this, Elon. They meant this as the biggest insult in the world to him. This dream, the dreamer is coming. But Simon, what a compliment. What a compliment. I think if anybody would say to me, "Oh, the dreamer is coming," I would take that as the biggest compliment in the world. Well, the minute you stop dreaming, who are you? Right? So you just become a cynical, dried up excuse of a human being. So they were saying the dreamer is coming. They meant it as an insult, but it's the greatest compliment in the world to be called a dreamer, right? The greatest compliment in the world to be called a dreamer. So that's the vort. All right, we'll stop the shir here, and so we can daven mincha.